Everyone, it's Sean. I'm back, and now it's time to do the pearlescent. Nope, sorry, not the pearlescent. The hatch coloring on the Enterprise refit, the Smoothie Build. So let's get you closer. There you go. So the first thing to do is to go after this part of the neck with this Wisteria from Folk Art, which is the lightest bluish gray I've been able to find. Actually, I'm going to see if I have a... Well, I don't really have a thicker brush, do I? No. Although, I think this brush, the way its bristles go, just might be the one. Let's find out. Okay, let's hope I remain in view here. Now, wouldn't I look if it doesn't show up at all? I hope it shows up. That would be so kind of embarrassing if it didn't show up at all and it wasn't dark enough. Well, it is. And remember, paint darkens, I believe, with the, as it dries, it darkens up. So it is entirely possible that it will show up later when I least expect it. So let's just keep applying here. Oop, not that much. You don't want it to spread out too thickly on the hull. Okay. Oh, don't do that, don't do that. It is showing up. After all, it is showing up. The very lightest blue after all. Okay, so let's take a picture with the wisteria to start with. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. There. Now let's turn off the overhead light. That doesn't... No, okay. Now we'll try the gray hatches with the pale gray. Which is the closest hand color I have yet found to the Tamiya Royal Light Gray that I used for the hull of the 2500 scale TOS Enterprise. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to use the same brush. In fact, I think I will use this brush here. So we'll start with the back hatches because they're the ones that need to be painted before I put the decals down. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Now, I got to be very precise here. Hopefully I'm in view. Yes, I'm getting a lot of work done on the ship. This model in the last 2 days. Now it should dry and enable me to see it now. I believe it's the outer rim as well. Yep. Now this is supposed to be the very lightest gray. It's not supposed to show up too much at all, actually. Just the slightest subtle difference because, quite frankly, I don't want to... All right. Now let's see if that even shows up at all. Quite embarrassing if it doesn't, but it hasn't dried yet. There it is. It may be just slightly darker. And don't worry, if there's a boo-boo, there's going to be a Tamiya Pearl White coat put over it, and then Aztec decals as well. so you won't have to worry that you can't see anything. I'm going very smoothly so as not to see the paint strokes, but I think I'm going to have to do a bit more here. Let's try this. There, that's the color showing up. A bit of brownish gray, just like on the TOS Enterprise. And since this ship, the motion picture refit, was indeed built on the skeleton of the TOS Enterprise, it makes sense that somewhere on the ship is a color from that other earlier vessel. Alright, it does seem to be working. I can feel how the hull is a bit sticky still, almost like it didn't quite dry all the way. But there you go. All three, yes, I know I said three. That's because there's a fourth hatch missing, but I'm not scribing it until much later in the build. So there's the front of the ship. There's the front of the ship showing the one hatch, but not the other. Don't worry, I will scale it later. There's something else too. You see these three? They're not on this side. Now it doesn't look pearl yet. And here are the two back hatches complete with the Mysteria blue in the neck. Now let's turn off the light. You can see it faintly, but let's see if we can get a better angle, without the shadow of the phone in the way. All right, let's see here. All right. Now it looks very dark gray to my eye, but not to the ship. Okay, so that's all for now. Next up will be the pearl white coat applied tomorrow morning as the last thing before I go on my trip. And then after that, you have the decals. But let's lay the decals down on the hull, away from the hatches, and see what they look like. Is the off color of the pearlescent against the nearly white hull. Here is the on color of the iridescent against a nearly white hull. Here is the off color of the pearlescent against a nearly white hull. Here is the pearlescent showing up against the nearly white hull. And of course, for the final picture, you put the two decals side by side on the ship, and you get both the pearlescent and the iridescent showing up as you move over. And then you turn the light out, and you get them side by side, nearly gray, just like they were against the Enterprise refit hull, although the pearlescent ones are slightly darker than the iridescent. And do I have a plain one to compare with? There's the plain one. These are painted with iridescent colors. If you get back a bit, there's the plain one. There's the iridescent color ones. You can see the iridescent colors come up as you move the light over, but once you're back like this, you only see the slight reddish because there are some reds and yellows naturally in there. So that's the Enterprise refit. I believe this is episode 4, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Pearl Coat application.